popcorn's made from dead people. Pretty good, eh? I'm the popcorn antichrist. Popcorn made from voices, delicious. Read your bones. You come and eat people corn, you're gonna love. Hey, it's popcorn and people. What more do you want? Let's see who's in this bag. Joey, tackle me. Betty, Shorty.
All right, folks, welcome to the latest CHUD Show. My name's Nick Nunziata. I'm back here in the back and the rear, bringing up the back. I got Mr. Justin Waddell right in front of me, and who's that guy?
Who's in the front?
The proudest papa in town.
Congratulations, Steve.
Thank you. I really didn't do anything.
Well,
You came in a woman. You filled her and made a baby.
Oh my goodness.
yikes.
So we're recording this in a strange environment, which I think is pretty cool because, I think we're all proud that Source Code opened this weekend.
Oh, yeah. Definitely proud.
Justin, have you seen Source
I
Code?
saw Insidious instead, actually. I didn't go see Source Code.
Steve,
What?
have you seen anything? What's the last movie you saw in a theater?
Oh wow, it's probably, I think it was Jaws.
The original Hills Have Eyes?
Yeah, it was a long time. Probably the last film I saw in theaters proper would have been Predators.
The Cave.
Yeah, it was probably Predators.
Really?
Oh, Predators.
And that was Dollar Theater.
Predators with the Danny Glover no, not Danny Glover, Lawrence Fishburne cameo.
Way to be racist.
No, because Danny Glover is in the second one,
Yeah.
and then Lawrence Fishburne gets decimated in the third.
That's a spoiler, actually.
I think that should be the natural progression in all films is you get Bill Duke, then you get Danny Glover, and
Yeah.
then you get Lawrence Fishburne.
What did you guys think of Predators? Because that's a timely thing to
Kind of
talk
dumb,
about.
but it's all right.
It was fine. It was
I like the director a lot.
It was a good dollar spent, well spent actually.
I thought Adrian Brody pulled his own. That was between takes, but
And it had that woman that you don't like in it.
oh, I hate her.
What's her
She
name?
was actually good in a movie right after that, though. Not Sonia, but
You know what sucks really? Being in the front. This is terrible. What's the point?
You gotta hold it up. You gotta do a good job.
well, you know what? You would have sucked in the 70s.
That's true. I don't like being in the front.
Free love, you would have been the bottom.
How about that? This chair is comfortable though.
What's her name? She's boring.
Alice
Alice Braga.
Braga.
Alice
Alice
Braga.
Braga.
She was in something after that. She was actually pretty good in. Was it? She didn't Hereafter.
Maybe she was in Red Belt. I liked her in Red Belt. I like Red Belt at least.
Science tells us that came out way before.
No, but that's what I think of her. When I think of her, I think of Red Belt. Is that?
When I think of her, I think of abstinence. But she's all right. But so you went and saw Insidious because why?
That's kind of, I don't know, because I like horror movies, and I heard good things about Insidious. I heard it was a good haunted house.
I thought
romp.
you probably heard better things about Source Code.
I did hear much better things about Source Code. I guess from the internet guys.
I heard
But,
that the source code bears too much of a resemblance to Paycheck. I didn't bother seeing it.
I
Is that
don't-
true?
That's not true.
Really?
No.
Did you see Paycheck?
Yeah, I saw Paycheck.
I think you're confused because Johnny Paycheck does the soundtrack.
I saw Paycheck because Chud had a screening of it back in the old days.
That was a nightmare. Was that the one with John Woo with Ben Affleck?
Yes,
that
it
was
was.
a nightmare.
It was great. What do you mean?
Alice Braga.
Brandon Braga.
So Insidious.
Yeah, I saw that. Ren actually saw it too. Ren's holding the camera.
Way to break show business.
It's the 17th wall.
And it was, I had heard, and I think it's like kind of a half a good movie. It's like the first half of it's really good build up, really good scares in it, and
Is that before he
kind of falls apart when
that
they have the explanation come in.
Is that before he turned Anakin Skywalker?
Are you talking about Darth Insidious?
Darth Insidious?
But it kind of
bunch of nerds.
They figure out the boy in the trailer that the little boy
He's
is haunted. The explanation for that, I think, is sort of interesting, but the execution not too interesting.
Was it priest sex? Did a priest fuck a ghost into him?
There's a priest in the movie. He shows up, but he's just very little.
That's a
screen
good
time.
thing, actually. I'm so glad priests are coming back in the films.
Yeah.
Last Exorcism, right? It's like 42 priests in that film.
Halo name.
I think, was he a
In
priest?
3D, no less.
I did like Last Exorcism better than Insidious, but Insidious had a lot in
So
common. I thought
Reddit
with
teased that there's a monster element to it.
there's a couple freaky monsters in it. Actually,
Are they humanoid monsters or are they beasts that patrol the ceiling?
They're humanoid monsters, and sometimes they patrol the ceiling. I'd say is a.
I hate humanoid monsters.
Look at that nice painting back there.
Steve, you're
Yes.
breaking show business over the face.
It's another thing about that movie that's interesting
It's my kind of painting.
It kind of, and I think Brandon will agree, the more that they show the monsters, the less eerie the monsters get. So like at the beginning
Wait,
when
it
they're
takes
not
place
really
in Pennsylvania?
so when they're showing the they have these glimpses of the
being in the
freaks,
front
the
is not
freaks.
the best
It's
thing ever.
more interesting, I
It's
think.
actually rather dull.
Which is the
No
problem
one
with a lot
knows
of
what these
movies,
people are
honestly.
talking about, really. They're just talking about crap.
Yeah.
Throwing ice chips at me. Because I'm in the front.
Sorry, Steve.
Do you think Source Code is a movie that's going to succeed?
You said it's doing pretty well this weekend, right?
Spoiler.
No, I don't think
Duncan
it'll.
Jones always.
I don't. I love Moon. I think Moon's great. I'm not a huge fan of Gyllenhaal. I don't get excited to see his films. I don't know why.
It's probably because of his silly beard.
Does he have a beard in Source Code?
No, but he has a beard occasionally, especially that commercial he does, right? He's just like some commercial.
Yeah,
that's-
it's a Major League Baseball. He's doing charity work, trying to help the world.
Charity can go to hell. I'm saying that his beard, though, right? In that
He's got a
commercial,
very well kept beard.
that's the
It's
problem.
very clean.
A man
How-
should never
how
have a
is-
well-kept beard.
How
It
is
should be like a big boomer.
You know who else has got a very well kept beard?
No one knows.
Katie Holmes.
Is that right?
Gyllenhaal in Source Code? Here's a compliment. He's gonna compliment him about.
Jake Gyllenhaal it's one of his best performances,
Oh,
if
of
not his
course.
best performance. I think Red would probably agree he does a good job, right? So I mean, he's you believe him. He has a good. I mean, keep in mind the character he's introduced in the film completely doesn't have any clue what's going on. He's as clueless as the audience, and he conveys that
As are
really
we.
well. And as he gets more and more frustrated over the course of the film, and as he gets more driven over the course of the film, Gyllenhaal does a very good job. He does a very good job of being a leading man. And what helps is it's not a complete film. It's kind of like a
I got a Dr. Pepper throwback.
fucking Steve.
Oh.
Over the course of the film, I mean, it's not what you would call like a complete movie. It's an interesting. It's almost like an experiment or like a Twilight Zone type of thing. So it's not like he's required to do like a leading man role. He's kind of like up against. Oh, you fucking. Where do you want to sit, sir?
Here, look here for a second. I'm gonna do a little gag.
What kind of fucking show are you watching? I mean, concussive is the only word I can think of to what this show is, and what does season 4 bring to the table that we haven't seen?
Well, let me backtrack just a bit. It's like season 1 was all about the decision and what this man is about to embark on and the newness of it all and the idea of facing death. In the pilot, you can justify that it was self-defense, but then afterward, that, crazy 8 down in the basement, it's a big difference between premeditated. And season 2 was more about the ramifications of that decision, how it's starting to affect his family and the secrets, and how it's starting to affect him and bring him down, and the amount of worry and anxiety is built up. Season 3 was starting to be about acceptance, that he is now no longer this innocent, I'm just doing it for my family kind of guy, but he's accepting who he is. He needs to, and in fact, needs to embrace the person he's become. He has to think more like what he really is now a criminal in order to stay alive.
Yeah.
And season 4 then becomes, where is my place in life? Now that I've accepted that, where do I stand? Who am I now? Who is this new molded person that I've become? That I, in some ways, am very attracted to. The power of that.
Right.
And maybe it's short-lived. Maybe it's as ephemeral as the life of a butterfly, but God damn it, it's going to be a wild ride, and I'm the man. I'm the guy, you know? And so he's feeling his oats. He's really feeling it. And before, there were moments that he was able to intimidate, and then he'd go, oh my God, what was that? Now he owns that, and he's starting to use that intimidation and that strength to get what he wants. So the metamorphosis of Walter White has taken shape.
Listen, Emily, because we got to be electric.
Hey, Steve.
Yeah, what's going on?
Jurgen Prochnow walked into a bar.
Jurgens.
In college, they did a movie about there's a guy at my college that did a movie about date rape. It's called A Reason to Believe, and she was in it.
Sounds like I've seen that.
And so was like a bunch of Keith Coogan was in it, like a bunch of people. Anyway, so he showed it to our film class. It was the worst movie ever. So because it's a movie about date rape, and then there's a bunch of like sex scenes in it. Like it's just absolutely terrible. But look it up. Reason to Believe.
And she's naked.
She is in it. Yeah, she's in it.
And can you confirm she's got smalls?
So you say she's small breasts or what do you mean? Like
The clothes that they put her in made her breast look smushed and sad. They were experiencing heartbreaks on her.
She's not a bad-looking woman.
She's
from
all
what I
right.
remember. Yeah.
She's all right.
I don't remember being like appalled by the nudity from that film, other than the actual reason for it. I think.
Oh yeah, because all of a sudden you're anti-rape.
No, it's such a bad movie. A Reason to Believe.
Okay.
Keith Coogan has a Rolling Stones tattoo.
Is he the rapist?
No, he plays.
Because you want to say unbelievable? Who the hell could he overpower?
He plays a character in it.
I mean, he would give her a roofie, and the roofie would fail. That's Keith Coogan.
He plays a character named Pato.
Why do you remember that?
I don't know, because he gets high all the time, and so they call his character. His name is Pato.
So
I just remember
it was written by somebody who really doesn't know much about culture. He's like the typical drug addict who has a Rolling Stone.
Do you know who was the
Stones
rapist in
tattoo.
it? You know who the rapist was? The boy who could fly. Do you remember that guy's name? The guy.
Icarus. What's your favorite Tommy Lee Jones vehicle?
What's your favorite scary movie? You excited about that coming up?
What's your favorite Tommy Lee Jones vehicle?
Dark Moon Rising.
Ren?
You don't want to hear my
The Hunted.
answer.
The Three Burials of Melquiades Estrada.
That, I mean, in terms of what I think his best movie is, that would be among them.
So why
My
was I surprised?
absolute favorite would be like Men in Black.
Is there anything worse than a disembodied voice?
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Men in Black? Over No
I
Country?
love Men in Black.
He's like 4 years old when
No,
I saw
I
it.
mean,
Over rules
Is there-
of
Isn't
engagement?
a Tommy Lee Jones vehicle.
That's too bad you can't say when he says "I love Men in Black" and then there can be like a shot of Ren sitting there all in black because he is wearing completely. He's only wearing black today.
How about Under
If you're talking about
Siege?
my favorite movie that he's in ever, then besides my conception tape,
Under
then
Siege.
yeah, probably No Country.
But you like Men in Black, eh?
I love Men in Black.
It's got moments.
It's funnier than the sequel, that's for sure.
Yeah,
So is the Japan Holocaust. Oh God! All right, have at it.
Go to CHUD.com.
Steve, before we go to the next segment,
Yeah.
if you were Hollywood royalty,
Yes.
And you were a man of leisure and a
yes.
sexual animal,
Of course.
who would be the one that you courted? Who would you go after hard and fast? And the question is going to apply to you too.
Oh, so you're saying if you were
If you were attractive,
Yep.
talented, rich, we're in a fantasy land. If all those things were happening, you were single, who would you be after like a ramrod?
Denise,
you mean-
Denise Crosby. Denise Crosby by
The
a
unobtainable.
long shot. No, I could turn her. Because I want to ask her, like, why did she quit Next Generation in about the middle of the first season? Did she give up, or?
Was she just coasting on Pet Cemetery?
Yeah, what I
residuals?
think happened is she found out that her grandfather, Old Bing, had died back in the 70s. I think she finally found that out. She got depressed.
She related to Bing?
Yeah, it's her grandfather.
That's, no.
Yes.
She's like.
I'm not here to body. But then she got murdered in Skin of Evil, so